Work my way from a garden to a track. Flip it from a track to a plot full of acres. Do it for the farmers and producers and the makers. What we even here for? Occasionally I ask it. I know it's more than struggling, anticipating the casket. Reap what we sow, I'm trying to fill up my basket. Life's a plantation, I self-law and master. Over the plot, I've been granted on this planet. Now it's slanted, cause the chosen been supplanted. But if you overstand it, it was spoken. Fractured, but we ain't broken. Even though some would rather play the role of token, we growing. Black through the essence of a presence. We carry the blood of gods, we carry the mind of peasants. Rich black gardens, future look more like Eden. Multiply seeds like the seed banks in Sweden. Rep my planners on plan according to season. B1 code, switching it up is treason. Black power, family what we eat. Either we get fed or we feed. B1AG.
What's growing on? What's growing on? What is growing on? This is B1AG Daily Bread Podcast, and I'm John Henry Harris, and we also have Farmer Brown, the MC. Welcome to the cafe. Here at the cafe, we talk about culture, agriculture, food, and environment. And today, our story revolves around, we'll say one of America's favorites, and that's McDonald's. And definitely a staple at McDonald's is their golden, crispy French fries. You know, a lot of people will attest to that McDonald's has the best fries on the market. However, because of food inflation, the rising cost of food, and also, you know, a lot of people just, you know, they're starting to tighten up those wallets, tighten up on that budget. And it's really starting to affect McDonald's bottom line. So what are you talking about, John Henry? There are fewer McDonald's customers buying fries with their burgers. And this is a clear signal showing that definitely food inflation is on the rise, and consumers they're starting to watch their dollars and cents a little more closely. Here at B1AG, we're going to dive deep into this little mini phenomenon going on with McDonald's, because it does point to bigger things to come with our economy. So, Farmer Brown, what say you?
First, I just like to say peace to the B1 fam. Hope everybody's doing well. So I'm looking over this white paper from the NIH, and it was talking about, and this is a study conducted in 2017 to 2018, quote, Black adults had the highest level of fast food consumption, and this was significantly higher than that among Mexican Americans percentage consuming fast food, 53% versus 42%. The percentage of calories from fast food, which were significantly higher than that among non-Hispanic Asian young adults. No significant differences in study outcomes were observed by race, ethnicity, age, compared with non-Hispanic whites and adults in the same group. Family, we're doing a lot of eating. You know, here at B1AG, we like to be very specific about what we're talking about, not just, shooting in the wind. This is an issue, family, but there's something we can do about it. Let's deep dive.
Absolutely. There's always something we can do about it. And here at B1AG, we are solution-based. Before we get started, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button, share, and subscribe to B1AG Daily Bread Podcast. B1AG Daily Bread Podcast. Now, Farmer Brian, you said we do a lot of eating. These are real statistics, y'all. 56% of Americans eat out 2 to 3 times a week. 10% of Americans eat out 4 to 6 times a week. And 6% of Americans eat out every single day. And now those 6% of people that eat out every day, that equates to 84.8 million Americans eat fast food every day. That's how much in total sales, in total people aggregate eat fast food every single day. So
Bruh,
the fries.
I'm not a hypocrite. Some days, it's hectic. And so, I don't get home early enough, or she doesn't get home early enough to cook. And so it's fast food. Sometimes we do pre-prepared meals, but every once in a while we slip up and get fast food, and the prices, you're not gonna get anything that's gonna fill you up under about $15. And
Now,
if you have a full family, because I think about it like, wow. So if this is a full family of four, imagine you got teenagers. Imagine you got some of these young kids that they're hitting these growth spurts, and you're not going to get a meal under 15. You multiply that times 4, 5, 6 people in a family, and there's 365 days in a year. Unless you're with Nation of Islam or on a strict fasting diet, there's some people that go crazy if they don't eat every day. So you're thinking on average, you're spending about $8 per meal. When you think about dinner, then you think about the rising cost of your regular groceries outside of going to fast food. People are getting squeezed, and it's hunger, it's food.
now, Business Insider, they are reporting about this McDonald's, about fewer people getting fries with their burgers. And they said they are looking at the cutback on spending akin to the likely looming recessions. And according to CEO Chris Kapinski, he told investors that we are seeing a slight decrease in units per transaction. So things like, did someone add fries to the order? How many items they are buying per order? We're seeing that go down in most of our markets around the world slightly, but it's still going on. Certainly the customer is being mindful about how they're spending the dollar or the euro. He said that the economic environment in Europe was more challenging than in the US, but that things were looking better than they did in the fall. There was also an inflation data study that shows the cost of meals and snacks from limited service restaurants in the US has risen by 7.9% over the last year. McDonald's told investors last summer that some diners, particularly in lower income customers, have been trading down to value offerings and ordering fewer combo meals. Hey, those dollars are getting harder to come by, y'all. You're muted.
According to the USDA in 2021, nearly 20% of what they classify as Black individuals lived in food insecure households. In addition, Black people are almost 3 times as likely to face hunger as white individuals. Black children are more likely to experience hunger than the children of other races. So when we think about it, I think about a lion. I think about any animal within a jungle, because everything walking around here with a stomach has to eat. You have to have water, right, to survive. And Maya, we found ourselves in a place that wastes 40% of the food that's produced here. We waste it. It goes to waste. Nothing consumes it. It goes in the sewer back in some system, but not our system, not our digestive systems. And it's, when we talk about king up, when we talk about lions, lions are, looking on TV, having to buy less fries. And I'm being funny, but not, because we eat food to get power. And so literally the power is being squeezed out through the food system. And so you can have all the dollars in the world, but if you can't eat them, ultimately, how formidable is your food network? Is it dependent on a grocery store? You think about Zimbabwe, you have to pay $1,000 for a loaf of bread because the pieces of paper had no value. So we find ourselves in a situation where, like I said, it's an opportunity, but it's only going to be an opportunity if we're able to really contextualize what this means. It's so much deeper than McDonald's. It's the concept of, like on a grand scale, we're budget balling. That was the thing when you wasn't doing well, you trying to get on your feet. But now this is becoming a part of the broader culture. And McDonald's is one of those, what do they call, bellwethers to kind of let you know what's going on.
Absolutely. Now, in 2023, so now we're talking about food inflation. All food prices are predicted to increase by 6.5%, with a prediction interval of 4.9 to 8.2%. Food at home prices are predicted to increase 6.6% with a prediction interval of 4.4 to 8.8%. Food across the board is getting more expensive. So with food getting more expensive, in McDonald's, less people are ordering fries, but another part of McDonald's operations that have taken a hit is the delivery. Now, delivery is more expensive than eating in or just ordering takeout because they have those additional delivery fees. So they're also taking a hit on delivery. Now, food delivery, it had a massive growth, especially since the pandemic. So it's not sustainable for food delivery to continue on that growth, but nonetheless, deliveries are going down. And it does have, and they do feel like it does have a lot to do just with people's budgets, that delivery fee.
Bruh, man, when you think about what this means, so think about Uber drivers or Lyft or DoorDash, the hustles, the jobs, the side hustles that's feeding real people. All this ties with food, family. Okay, that's one area of food that's being cut off because that's, hey, we need less of y'all driving this product because McDonald's is typically every other franchise like that follows as far as their business model. Not too long ago, we were reporting on White Plains or White Settlement, Texas, where they had a humanless McDonald's. This is something that they've been experimenting with for some years now. It's just in the pilot phase. And then you think about corporate, cutting off a lot of the higher end administrative jobs within McDonald's. And so you got the customer buying less, and then you got the employer. It's one thing McDonald's as the, person selling you food, but then as an employer, not just employing the people that work at McDonald's behind the counter. Delivery. You think about delivery being cut off. Hey, I don't need to deliver as much if you're not selling as much. And so farm, I don't need to order as much of this if I don't need to order all these potatoes, Bill Gates. I'm being funny, but not. I don't need to order all these potatoes if people aren't buying them anymore. Meaning, okay, this farm's like, okay, well, I gotta cut my overhead, so I'll cut, some of these employees. And so saying that to say this, not to sound dramatic, but this has broader effects than just people paying less for their meal at McDonald's.
Again, this all signals towards food inflation. If you've gone to the grocery store, it's not hard to tell food is more expensive. I mean, we're at a point where a dozen eggs was like on $9, and that may almost gave me a heart attack. I never think I'd see eggs, a dozen eggs almost $9. But food inflation is real, and it seems like it's not going to go anywhere. And we are predicting to be in a recession, but not just a recession, but a double recession. So it's going to be back-to-back recessions. So family, it's a time that we really start tightening up our belts. Because one thing about a lot of things we spend money on, entertainment, a lot of these clothes, brand name clothes, things, these labels, we don't need that. But we need food because we all have to eat. So we want to make sure that we stay food secure. They're closing down a lot of these brick and mortar stores, including grocery stores, Walmart. There's going to be less food available. And one thing for sure that we can do to make sure that we stay food secure is to grow our own food. You're going to hear us say it all the time, grow our own food. Grow your own food. Small scale, localized food production equals food security. Do it for your family.
Grow up.
Start grow ops. Start food hubs. We all have to eat, family. We all have to eat. And it's getting more and more expensive to do so. And we have to stay proactive with this. Because right now, some people, they're still eating and they can go out whatever they want to. They don't. It's not hitting home. It's hard now. But we like to stay proactive and solution based. Let's not wait until it hits hard. Don't wait until you get socked in the eye. Bob and weave right now, and avoid the punch.
You was talking about them eggs, bro. So did I show you the pictures of my twins? They got their first little chicks.
Yes.
I'm trying to keep my daughter from squeezing them to death. Long story short, these $4, $5 is chicks. It's a learning. You get enough of them because some might not make it, right? But this is a great time to get your kids involved just in the process of seeing food production as normal. Get some, not even for meat, just for eggs. A lot of cultures, these cultures, from the stats I read you about who's eating fast food the most, a lot of these cultures grow their own food. Not only do they grow their own food, they raise their own meat, and they also have basic networks to sell food. It's nothing. It's the thing about it. There's not one bullet that's gonna, kill the complete enemy, or one solution. But one of the main solutions in any situation is being able to feed yourself and being practical. Here at B1AG, we don't like to just be vague. We like to be very practical. It is, when you think about how much money is spent going to a club. And so for my kids, you have to make the little coop and everything. You have to keep them indoors. You got to get your lights. You're going to spend less than what you pay a pair of Jordans. You can get a dozen chicks, layers. So what you pay for Jordans, you can get some chicks, set up in the backyard, keep them in for about 14 weeks inside, right? This is for the kids. This is experimental. This is for granny. This is for granddad. Saving on those $8, $10 eggs. When you think about these urban garden spaces, we talked about Chicago the other day. Hey, some of these dilapidated buildings, they can be rented out. That we trap out of them with other things. We can trap out of them with food. Like you said, localized food security. This isn't a vague concept. This is actually what they was doing back in 1910 when we had 16% of the land. When 16% of the farmers in North America was our melanated ancestors. It was only when we blacked away from agriculture when we became dependent. So this is the grand opportunity. This isn't just affecting our community. This is affecting everybody that eats McDonald's. But I see this as a canary in the cave and a trumpet sounding for us to get black to it. Prints in the mud.
Stephanie, let's get black to the garden, y'all. We keep bringing these stories. We're letting you know, look, this is what's happening. There's food inflation. Food is getting more expensive. It's not going to go down anytime soon. If anything, the overall economy is getting worse. You see that they're talking about in the news every day. The devaluation of the dollar, the de-dollarization of our currency globally. Our dollar is worth less and less and less. Less people across the world are using the dollar as the world's standard currency. It's time to tighten up these belts. Let's be smart. Let's be smart. Let's stay ahead of the curve. Start growing your own food, learning how to grow your own food. If you just got to start with a cup, a little bit of dirt and some seeds, just to start off with a cup, a simple cup. Start learning how to grow your own food and expand. Because if fewer people are buying fries, McDonald's fries, man, people fight over McDonald's fries. People have gotten killed over McDonald's fries. And now they're buying less. There's something going on. There's something going on. There's something in the water, y'all. And it's called inflation. Food inflation. So, Fun Brian, you got any last words?
This is the best time. This is the best excuse to get back to what made us a thriving civilization. Like I said, start where you're at. Be ready to make mistakes. It's a learning curve. You don't have to have a degree to be a farmer. You don't have to have a million years of experience. All you have to have is the desire to eat, the desire to produce your own. And from there, you're going to start running into the people, the networks, the systems that's going to make that feasible. And you go into it with the mindset of, no, what can I do within the system to serve the system of the people that I'm around eating? This is localized food system. Can I connect people together? That might be my skill. Am I good outdoors? Do I work hard? Do I got a beast like work ethic? I can compete with these machines. Do I got a couple vehicles or access to vehicles to be able to come up with logistics to distribute food to the people that's ordering it through subscriptions? Okay, we see DoorDash is going down. That's not stopping your dash. Once again, where something falls, there's always room for something to rise. And this is our opportunity, family. It seems simple, but it's literally growing our way into tribalism.
There it is. You see at the bottom of the screen, food hubs work closely with small-scale farms and businesses to help them meet the demands of their buyers. Food hubs' main purpose is to help small farmers gain access to the larger market. This is food. Everybody has to eat every day. So there's always going to be a bag in food, and especially in natural food. All this processed food that's available to us now, that just makes a good, wholesome, natural food that much more valuable. That much more valuable, because if we continue to lean on the system and continue to lean on these people to feed us, they're going to feed us more stuff that's less and less food and more filler. So here at B1AG, we are pushing the black algorithm, fighting against that algorithm. We're pushing, we are advocates for growing your own food, not only for health and food nutrition, but also, look, there's economic benefit. It helps bring families and communities together. And it's a survival skill, y'all. Don't ever forget that. It is a survival skill. If you need to find a black farmer near you, this is one of the most comprehensive websites that I've seen. We have compiled a lot of black farmers from state to state. If you have to rewatch this, stop and pause it and get this URL, do that. This will be a very important information to know. It's always good to know where that food at. And here you go. And it's made by our hands. Also, like, share, and subscribe. B1AG Daily Bread Podcast. Help us get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. We need to get to 1,000. We're at 665. We need to get to 1,000. Now, I see a lot of ratchetness. They got tens of millions of subscribers. Let us get to that. Let us get some subscribers to the point where where we're fighting against that algorithm with some real, useful, attainable information. This is going to help us, like my brother just said, it's going to help us thrive, not just live or survive, but thrive. All civilization is built around food, because if you don't eat, what else you going to do? You're going to starve and die. So, Farmer Brown, at the end of the day, if the people really, really want to know something, what do they need to do, bro?
If you really want to know something, let's get it from the mud and learn how to grow something.
Hit us up at b1aghiphop@gmail.com. Any questions, concerns, you want some information, let this channel be a hub of information, congregation, and exchange of information. Hey, we got to grow, y'all. We got to grow. And today, got a treat for y'all. We're going to go out. We're going to end the show with Farmer Brown, his new single, Summers in Mississippi. Me and Farmer Brown, we grew up very similar. We good old country boys, grew up farming. Agriculture is deep in our lineage. And when I think back growing, farming with my grandfather, some of the best times of my life, and then even making money. What I learned out there farming with my granddaddy, there wasn't no salary cap on his dollars. No salary cap at all.
Run back to better times. Cultivate new paradigms. Oh, been planting seeds along the way. Been growing harder every day. Reminiscing on hospitality, powered by Southern sustenance, sourced from Granny's garden. Thought working it was a punishment. Summertime in the sip, way before we was thugging it. Corn straight out the field. Granddaddy, he had a shuck in it, but it wasn't no jive, and we was growing and thriving. Dozens with younger cousins, while older ones snuck off driving. Nowadays, we preoccupied with surviving. Wish I could take it back like tape players rewinding. When I see my son and daughter, I'm reminded of bloodlines and the legacy that's behind it. Ancestors who grinded and generations way back. But genetic memories, wheels running like Sajak. Fortunate for the trips and lit these van, no Maybach. Vodka and ketchup bottles, my cousins knew not to taste that. Barbecue every night, rock fights, no blickies. Food, family, and love, my summers in Mississippi. Run back to better times. Cultivate new paradigms. Oh, been planting seeds along the way. Been growing harder every day. Back and forth across the border from Osaka up to Mars, up to Louisiana for the Cajun flavor love. Driven by my appetite, triggered by aromas from the Gulf Coast to the farms in Oklahoma. Reminiscent of Tulsa and Oklahoma in the 20s when we had more money and landowners. 15%, now we barely down to 3. 2% of farmers on this island look like me. And I'm just trying to justify my place at Granny's table. Overcome historic narratives and fables. Flip channels like it's cable, redirecting this production. Reclaim my place as makers, ain't no glamour in consumption. Turn nothing into something. Black to the future. Get black to the garden, work it out like Kama Sutra. Intensive operation, turn an acre into 50. Food, family, and love, my summers in Mississippi. Run back to better times. Way back. Cultivate new paradigms. Oh, been planting seeds along the way.
Bun, the purple.
They growing harder every day.
That's the matriarch.
Way back, 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 way back. Flip it. Run it back, run it back, run it back, low. Run it back, run it back, run it back, low. Run it back, run it back, run it back, yo.
Look just like my son, bro.
Run it back, run it back, yo.
Ever since I can remember.
I hope y'all can see what food does. Did you see all the family together, eating together, playing together, living together? This is what food does. That's why they, in this country, they used to really emphasize on everybody getting together at the dinner table and eating together at least once a day. That is what keeps the fabric of the family together. Here at B1AG, we call it the cafe. We want you to pull up a chair because we're going to give you a good meal. And we'd like to thank y'all for sharing your time with us today. And again, fewer customers are buying fries with their burgers. You know, it's all pointing towards food inflation. Let's tighten up our budget, be wiser with how we spend our money. Start saving now. Let's be like the squirrel and the ant. Start saving now for later. I'm John Henry Harris. We have Farmer Brian the MC. See y'all next time. Peace.